ॐ शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्ज सम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरनभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചനാനിന്നോടായി ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കുന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class. All right, so we'll do a review of 78. I think 79 we did the first 10 stanzas. So, Vijay, you can do one, and maybe Preeti, you can do one.
Sure, Rajesh. Dasakam 78 Dwaraka Vasavarnanam Rukminya Sandeshta Tridasha Vardaki Vardita Kaushalam Tridasha समस्तविभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषा ददुषिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विदिशासनात् महितमुत्सवघोषमपूपुषाः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदि महीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपश्रयन् चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम् द्विजसुतोऽपि चतुर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासदम् मुदमवाप च सादरपूजितः स भवतापहृता स्वयं स च भवन्तमवोचत कुण्डिने नृपसुता खलु राजति रुक्मिणी त्वयि समुत्सकया धीरता रहितया हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम्
Ruji, in
तव
the second word, Samut Sukhaya. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता रहितया हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम् तव हृतास्मि पुरैव गुणैरहं हरति मां किल चेदि नृपोऽधुना अयि कृपालय पालय मामिति प्रजगडे जगडे कपटे तया अशरणां यदि मां त्वमुपेक्षसे सपदि जीवितमेव जहाम्यहम् इति गिरासुतनो रतनोद्भृशम् हृदयं तव कातरम् अकथयस्त्वमतैनमये सखे तदधिका मम मन्मथवेदना नृपसमक्षमुपेत्य हराम्यहं दयितामसि ते क्षणां प्रमुदितेन च तेन समं तदा रथगतो लघुकुण्डिनमेयिवान् गुरुमरुत्पुरनायक मे भवान् वितनुतां तनुतां निखिलापदाम् श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Very good. In the seventh stanza, just the last line of the seventh stanza, Prajagade, da sound. Similarly, Jagadeka Pate. Those, I think I heard a da, D-A. It is a D-H sound there.
Oh,
Prajagade, Jagadeka Pate, Taya.
okay, H varanam,
No,
Rajesh.
Ama, it's like da, Gade,
Okay,
Prajagade.
okay. Prajagade jagade kapate taya.
Correct, that's right.
Thank you.
दशकं 79 बलसमेत बलानुकतो भवान् पुरमकाहत भीष्मकमानितः द्विजसुतं त्वदुपाकमवादिनं धृतरसा तरसा प्रणमसा भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितं विपुलके खेदजुषां पुरवासिनां श्रुतितैरुतितैरकमन्निशा तदनु मिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवत्रभितजीविता स्वपुरतः सुभटावृता.
Second line first up. Niraga Bhavadarpita.
निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता स्वपुरतः पुरतः सुपटावृता कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरं मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलं समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगात् गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्चितदिङ्मुखा भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा तदा विवशिताखिलराजकदम्बया त्वमपि देव कटाक्षविमोक्षणैः प्रमदया मदयाञ्च कृशे मनाक् क्वनु गमिष्यसि चन्द्रमुखीत्थितां सरसमेत्य करेण हरन् क्षणात् समधिरोप्य रथं त्वमाहृताः भुवि ततो विततो निनदोद्विषां क्वनु कतः पशुपाल इति क्रुधा कृतरनाय तु पिश्चजिता नृपाः न तु भवानुथ चाल्यततैरहो पिशुनकैः शुनकैरिव केसरी तदनु रुक्मिणमागतमाहवे वधमुपेक्ष्य निबध्य विरूपयन् हृतमदं परिमुच्य बलोक्तिभिः पुरमया रमया सह कान्तया नवसमागमलज्जितमानसां प्रणयकौतुकजृम्भितमन्मथाम् अरमयः खलु नाथ यथा सुखं रहसितां हसितां शूलसन्मुखीं
We stopped at 10. Yeah, stopped at 10. Yeah. Okay, I'll finish off 79 and then we'll go to 80.
ராஜேஷ் எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு இது இருக்கு
um,
ரெண்டாவது ஸ்லோகத்துல லாஸ்ட் லைன் வந்து ஸ்ருதித்தையா சருதித்தையா
Saruditair uditair agamanisha.
ஓகே தேங்க்யூ
Yeah, Lakshmi Kamalaji can be a student and Shailaja Praveen, you can be a student.
Yes.
So stanza 11. विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशं प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकधा ऋजुमतेः किल वक्रगिरा भवान् वरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम्. In the previous one, we saw like Krishna going, bringing Rukmini over to Dwaraka. So this one, previous 10th, no, I think this is going to be like a marriage season in Dwaraka because 79, 80, 81 is all just marriages of Krishna. He had 0 wives. He was a bachelor. Then at the end of 81, he'll have 16,008 wives, although technically not wives, but, on that count, right? So it'll all happen over the next 2 dashakams. So here he brings Rukmini back, but because he didn't have a proper marriage, so in this, they talk about how Dwaraka was all decked up and everybody came and then they had a proper marriage between Krishna and Rukmini. And, 10 and 11 and 12, just in a fun way, it talks about that Krishna, like we talk about arranged marriages. To some extent, Krishna and Rukmini had never met each other. So just now they are meeting each other in this, although that's not quite true, but in the context of Krishna Avataram, they are just meeting each other. So it just talks about, how Rukmini was feeling shy and Krishna was telling Rukmini that, like most of our husbands we do is we say, you are all so smart. I don't know why you married me. So Krishna says, Rukmini, you are so smart. You are so talented. I don't know why you ended up marrying me and you looked out for me. And then Rukmini gets upset and Krishna pacifies. So 11 and 12 just talks about just the chit chat that they are all doing because they are newly married and Rukmini has not even met Krishna except for the first time right now. Vividha Narmabhir. So I'm just breaking at that re there, ra there, so it's easier. Narmabhir eva maharnisham, comma. Pramadamākalayan punarekada. Rijumatehe, put a ich, Rijumateh kila vakragira bhavan, comma. Bara Baratanor, again, easy to break at the ra. That's a long word, so you can break at the ra. Baratanor atanodhati lolatam. विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशं प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकधा ऋजुमते किल वक्रगिरा भवान् भरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम्
विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशम् प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकदा ऋजुमतिः किल वक्रगिरा भवान् वरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम् विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशम् प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकदा ऋजुमतिः किल वक्रगिरा भवान् वरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम्
विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशम् प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकदा ऋजुमतिः किल वक्रगिरा भवान् वरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम् विविधनर्मभिरेव महर्निशम् प्रमदमाकलयन् पुनरेकदा ऋजुमतिः किल वक्रगिरा भवान् वरतनोरतनोदति लोलताम्
तदधि कैरथ लालन कौशलैः प्रणयिनीम् अधिकं सुखयन्निमाम् ऐ मुकुन्द भवच charitani naha, put a F and then put a plus, so we'll say that line together. Naf pragadatam gada tantim apakuru. If you want to break it, that ma tantim apakuru. So with this, Krishna, you kept Rukmini happy. Oh Mukunda, Mukunda, it says a beautiful meaning. The meaning of Mukunda is the one who gives liberation. Muktim dadhati iti Mukunda, the one who gives liberation. Oh Mukunda, please, whoever, all of us who are Bhavat Charitani, all of us who are singing your praises, talking about your Charitram, please, save us and get rid of all the diseases and afflictions that we actually have. Tadadhikairatalalan kaushalaihi pranayinim adhikam sukayannimam ai mukunda bhavat charitanina pragadatam gadatantim apakuru.
तदधिकैरतलालनकौशलैः प्रणयिनीमधिकं सुखयन्निमाम् अयि मुकुन्द भवच्चरितानि नः प्रगदतां गददान्तिमपाकुरु तदधिकैरतलालनकौशलैः प्रणयिनीमधिकं सुखयन्निमाम् अयि मुकुन्द भवच्चरितानि नः प्रगदतां गददान्तिमपाकुरु
तदधिकैरतलालनकौशलैः प्रणयिनीमधिकं सुखयन्निमाम् अयि मुकुन्द भवच्चरितानि नः प्रगदतां गदतान्तिम् अपाकुरु तदधिकैरतलालनकौशलैः प्रणयिनीमधिकं सुखयन्निमाम् अयि मुकुन्द भवच्चरितानि नः प्रगदतां गदतान्तिमपाकुरु
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Yeah, sorry.
പ്രഗതതാം ഗദാന്തിം അപാകുരു തന്നെ ഉള്ളത്. ഗദാന്തിം അപാകുരു.
Gada Tantim.
Is it?
Gada Tantim, on the word. So Pragadatam, Gada Tantim Apakuru. Okay. Dashakam 80. So from now, like I think Master told you, up to 36, we had some tough Dashakams, right? 36 was Parashuram Avataram. And then when Krishna Avataram started in 37, things started getting little simpler, smaller Dashakams. We were doing 2 Dashakams in class. And now from 80, it's going to get hard again. So 80 all the way to 100 are all going to be tough Dashakams. Most of them are tough Dashakams. Tune changes multiple times. Chandas is the 4-liner Chandas and all of that. Anyway, so 80, this is a couple of things happening there. The title is Syamantako-pakyanam. So it's about Upakhyanam, about the jewel Syamantaka. But it also has 2 marriages that's going to happen. It is going to be marriage between Krishna and Satyabhama and Krishna and Jambavati. So both of that happens in the context of the Semantakopakhyanam itself. And so on. Satrajitastvamatαλubdhavadharkalabdham divyam syamantakamaniம் bhagavannayachīhi tatkaranam bahubidham mama bhati nūnam tasyatmajam tvairatam chalato vivodhum. So now everything from now is really happening in Dwaraka, right? So in Dwaraka, there was a person called as Satrajit. So this Satrajit, he had actually performed some really intense penance, and he had actually got some very special jewel from Surya Bhagavan, from sun god. So it's called a Semantakamani. So the thing is, whoever possessed that jewel and whoever did puja to that jewel, who took care of it, it used to produce gold. I don't know how it used to produce gold, but it used to give him a lot of gold. So that person gets extremely rich by possessing that jewel. So this Satrajit, one day he walks into Dwaraka after he had done all this penance, he got the jewel and everything. When he walks into Dwaraka, he was just shining because he was wearing the jewel. So that was just giving him so much tejas that people thought that probably Swayam Surya Bhagavan has come, right? Now, he's part of the Dwaraka land. So that is just minting gold for him every day. So, Krishna and others, in Dwaraka, they went and told Satrajit, you just give it to the state or the government. So we'll generate enough gold to help everybody. But Satrajit says, no, I want to keep it for myself. And then, he keeps it, he builds an old temple for that Semantakamani, his own temple, and then he does puja, so he gets all the money. Anyway, all that was happening. But here, Bhattacharya is also saying this is Krishna Chalataha. This is like a cunning way because you don't need the Semantakamani, but there's an ulterior motive of asking him for it, which you ask, and anyway, Satrajit refuses to give you or give the Dwaraka, the government, anything about the Satrajit, Semantakamani. Satrajitas Twamatar Lubdha Badarka Labdham, Divyam Syamantaka Manim Bhagavanna Yachihi Tatkaranam Bahuvidham Mama Bhati Noonam, Tasyatmajam Tvai Ratam Chalato Vibodhum. Satrajitastvamatalubdhavadarkalabdham Divyam Syamantakamanим Bhagavanna Yachihi Tatkaranam Bahuvidham Mama Bhati Noonam Tasyatmajam Tvairatam Chalato Vivodhum.
Satrajitastvamatalubdavadarkalabdham Divyam Syamantakamanим Bhagavannayachīhi Tatkaranam Bahuvidham Mama Bhati Noonam Tasyatmajam Tvairatam Chalato Vivodhum. Satrajitastvamatalubdavadarkalabdham Divyam Syamantakamanим Bhagavannayachīhi Tatkaranam Bahuvidham Mama Bhati Noonam Tasyatmajam Tvairatam Chalato Vivodhum.
Satrajitastvamatalubdavadarkalabdham divyam shamantakamanim bhagavannayachīhi tatkaranam bahuvidham mama bhati noonam tasyatmajam tvayiratam chalato vivodhum.
The fourth line, first word, Tasyatmajam, A sound at the end.
Sorry, tasyatmajam. Okay. Satrajitastvamatalubdavadarkalabdham divyam shamantakamanim bhagavannayachīhi tatkaranam bahuvidham mama bhati noonam tasyatmajam tvayiratam chalato vivodhum.
That's true. Adhattam tam tubhyam manivaramaniналpamanasa prasenastadbhrata galabu vivahan prapa mrigayam ahannenam simho manimahasi mamsa brahmavashat kapindrastam khatva manimapi cha balaya dadivan. So one day, so Satrajit refuses to Krishna. Everybody knows that Krishna asked Satrajit, said no. Now, one day, his brother, Satrajit's brother called Prasanna, he wore that necklace and then he went hunting. So when he went hunting on his horse and all that stuff, so there, in the forest, he encounters a lion, which sees the shining object around his neck and thinks that this is a very meaty person, right? And then it ends up attacking Prasanna and ends up killing Prasanna. It also ends up killing the horse on which he was riding. Now the lion now possesses this gem. Now there's other subtle story on this Shamantakamani you'll see is this is going to keep passing from person to person. And whoever ends up getting it is always going to land in trouble. That's going to be the underlying theme which is going to happen here. So this lion, it ends up taking the jewel. Now lion doesn't know what to do with the jewel. So he just keeps wandering around. It reaches a cave. So in the cave, there is actually in this case, it says monkey. Now the question comes is this a monkey or a bear? But I'll address that in a minute. So there's a small baby or child monkey or a child bear, which wants that jewel. So it goes to its father, who is Jambavan. So Jambavan he runs through all the avatars, because if you remember in Kurma avataram, when it is there, Jambavan comes. When Vamana avataram is there, Jambavan comes. Ramayanam, Jambavan is there. Now in Krishna avataram in Dwapara Yuga, also Jambavan is there. So he's one of those Brahmacharya people who's there through multiple avatars. So this Jambavan then hits that lion off and gets rid of the lion. He takes the jewel and gives it off to his child, right? So the question comes is here in Narayanam, he's referred to as Kapi. Kapi means a monkey. But Jambavan, we think of it as a bear, right? So I think there's a little bit of whether it's a bear or a monkey, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is the other explanation is because Jambavati, his daughter, Krishna is going to marry, right? So it's not like Krishna is marrying a monkey or Krishna is marrying a bear, right? So I think you have to just think of it as one of those things, which is maybe some level, some kind of humans who had a lot of hair on their body. Anyway, some story around that, but doesn't matter. So here, net is Jambavan gets rid of the lion and gives the jewel to his child right now. Adattam tam tubhyam, comma, Munivaram, I'm just breaking at the ma if you want. Munivaram anenalpa manasa, comma, Prasenas tad bhrata, comma, Galabhuvi vahan prapa mrigayam, Ahannenam simho, comma, Mani mahasi mamsa brahma vashat, comma, Kapindrastam hatva, comma, Mani mapicha balaya dadivan.
Question. So it's showing Manivaram Manena Alpa Manasa in my book. Is it money or muni?
Money. Money only.
Money, right? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry if I said muni. It's money only. Manivaram anenalpa manasa. Adattam tam tubhyam manivaram anenalpa manasa prasenastad bhrata galabhuvi vahan prapa mrigayam ahannenam simho mani mahasi mamsa brahmavashate kapindrastam hatva manimapicha balaya dadivan.
Adattam tam tubhyam manivaramανenalpa manasa prasenastadbrata galabhuvi vahan prapa mrugayam ahannenam simho manimahasi mamsa brahmavashat kapindrastvam hatva manimapicha balaya dadivan.
Fourth line, first word, Kapindrastam hatva.
Kapindrastvam. Sorry.
No, you are saying, I'm hearing Kapindrastvam. It is Kapindrastam hatva.
Kapindrastam. Sorry, okay. Adattam tam tubhyam manivaramανenalpa manasa prasenastadbhrata galabhuvi vahan prapa mrugayam ahannenam simho manimahasi mamsa brahmavashat kapindrastam hatva manimapicha balaya dadivan.
Adattam tam tubhyam manivaram anenalpa manasa prasenastadbhrata galibhuvi vahan prapa mrigayam ahannenam sinho manimahasi mansa brahmavashat kapindrastam hatva manimapicha balaya dadivan. Adattam tam tubhyam manivaram anenalpa manasa prasenastadbhrata गलभुवि वहन् प्राप मृगयाम् अहन्नेनं सिंहो मणिमहसि मांस भ्रमवशात् कपीन्द्रस्तं हत्वा मणिमपि च बालाय ददिवान्.
That's a 3. Shashamsu satrajit giramanu janastvam maniharam jananam piyusham bhavati guninam doshakanika tata sarvagnopi swajana sahito margana paraha prasenam tam drishtva harimapi gato buh kapi guham. So, because now people put this one and one together, they say, okay, Krishna asked Satrajit for the jewel. Satrajit said no. Satrajit's brother Prasena wore that necklace and went. He is now not come back, which means Krishna killed Prasanna. So they kind of did that logic, inference logic, and now the blame comes on Krishna that he has gotten raised, somehow killed Satrajit and taken that Semantaka money. So it says, Bhakti says, even if you do all good things, you just do, people assume one bad thing that you might have done, and then everything blame comes on you. So Krishna says, you know what? I'll go and prove to you that I'm not the one who has done it, right? And there's also other subtle reasons why this is going to happen. So Krishna, along with a few other people from Dwaraka, they all set out to go see what is happening. So they first go to the forest. They go to the forest, they find Prasanna, and they found the horse. So they know something has killed them. And then they see the footmarks of a lion. So they start tracing the lion. They trace the lion, and then they see the lion dead at the entrance of a cave. So they know something inside the cave has killed the lion. And then Krishna, you then decide to enter the cave inside. Shashamsuhu put is Shashamsus Satrajit Giramanu, Janastwam Maniharam, Jananam Piyusham Bhavati, Guninam Dosha Kanika, Tataha put is Tatas Sarvagnopi, Swajana Sahito Margana Paraha, Prasenam Tam Drishtva Harimapi, Gato bhuhu put ich gato buh kapiguham. Shashamsu satrajit giramanu janastvam maniharam jananam piyusham bhavati guninam doshakanika tatas sarvagnopi swajana sahito margana paraha prasenam tam drishtva harimapi gato buh kapiguham.
शशंसु सत्राजिद्गिरमनु जनास्त्वां मणिहरं जनानां पीयूषं भवति गुणिनां दोषकनिका ततः सर्वज्ञोऽपि स्वजनसहितो मार्गनपरः प्रसेनं तं दृष्ट्वा हरिमपि गतो बुः कपिगुहम् गतो बुः कपिगुहाम् शशंसु सत्राजिद्गिरमनु जनास्त्वां मणिहरं जनानां पीयूषं भवति गुणिनां दोषकनिका ततः सर्वज्ञोऽपि स्वजनसहितो मार्गनपरः प्रसेनं तं दृष्ट्वा हरिमपि गतो बुः कपिगुहाम्
शशंसु सत्राजित् किरमनु जनास्त्वां मणिहरं जनानां पीयूषं भवति गुणिनां दोषकणिका ततः सर्वज्ञोऽपि स्वजनसहितो मार्गणपरः प्रसेनं तं दृष्ट्वा हरिमपि गतो भूकपिगुहां शशंसु सत्राजित् गिरमनु जनास्त्वां मणिहरं जनानां पीयूषं भवति गुणिनां दोषकणिका ततः सर्वज्ञोऽपि स्वजनसहितो मार्गणपरः प्रसेनं तं दृष्ट्वा हरिमपि गतो भूकपिगुहाम्.
भवन्तमवितर्कयन्नतिवया स्वयं जाम्भवान् मुकुन्द शरणं हिमां कैहरोधुमित्यालपन् विभो रघुपते हरे जय जयेत्यलं मुष्टिभिश्चिरं तव समर्चनं व्यदित भक्तचूडामणिः. So Krishna enters that cave, and there he sees, that some small baby is actually playing with that Semantaka money. So he goes and tries to take that money from that baby. He leaves everybody outside. Everybody else is standing outside. So at the time, the baby, yells because some random stranger has come. At that time, Jambavan comes out. Now, Jambavan comes out and he sees that some intruder has entered into the cave trying to take something from his child. And so he gets upset and he begins to combat Krishna, right? He begins to fight. So he's saying, Vibho Raghupate Hare. So Jambavan is he's a Bhakta Chudamanihi. So he's the greatest crest jewel of devotees, Jambavan, to Sri Rama, right? So he then says, Vibho Raghupate Hare. He says victory to Lord Rama. And then Jambavan then starts punching Krishna, Mushtibihi, with his fist. He then starts fighting with Krishna here. So this is an opportunity because Jambavan is one of the greatest of devotees. And to get an opportunity, he didn't get a chance in Ramavataram. He was under Rama's guidance. So here he's getting a chance to, when I say fighting, while he's physically hitting, like we said before, touching Bhagavan itself is a blessing. Now, how you touch, like we said, it could be any different way you could touch. But the point is, it becomes spiritual the moment you touch Bhagavan. So here, he's beginning to fight with Krishna. When you wrestle, like we saw in Chanura and Mushtika, is you have to embrace each other, you have to hold, you have to hit, you have to touch. So with that, he then starts fighting, and the fight goes on for about 28 days. They both are fighting. Krishna and Jambavan are fighting inside the cave. Bhavantam avitarkayannati vayaha. So you can break it that ma there. Bhavantam avitarkayannati vayaha. Put is vayas swayam Jambhavan, comma Mukunda sharanam himam, comma ka iha rodhum ityalapan. You can break it that ma rodhum ityalapan. Vibho Raghupate Hare, comma Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibi. Put a plus, and the ish will come and join. If you have ish in the fourth line, that gets joined to the third line. So Mushtibish Chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita, and then a comma. So third line, Vibho Raghupate Hare. Whole thing comes together after Vyadita, comma Bhakta Chudamanihi.
ராஜேஷ் என்னோட புக்ல சிரம் ஸ்தவன் இருக்கு. சிரம் ஸ்தவ
இல்ல தவ, just tava, regular tava. Tava means you, so
Okay.
Chiram Tava Samarchanam.
So where is the fourth comma in fourth line? Mushtibish chiram tava samarchanam, then comma?
Vyadita, and then a comma.
Oh, from Mushtibish.
Bhakta Chudamanihi. Yeah, just before Bhakta Chudamanihi.
Okay. Thank you.
Bhavantamavitharkayannati vaya swayam Jambhavan Mukunda sharanam himam kaiharodhumityalapan Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibish-chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita Bhakta Chudamanihi.
Bhavantam avitarkayannati vaya swayam Jambavan Mukunda sharanam himam ka iharodhumityalapan Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibish-chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita Bhakta Chudamanihi. Bhavantam avitarkayannati vaya swayam Jambavan Mukunda sharanam himam ka iharodhum ityalapan Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibish-chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita Bhakta Chudamanihi.
Bhavantam avitarkayan ativaya swayam Jambavan Mukunta sharanam himam gaiharodhum ityalapan Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jay Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibish-chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita Bhakta Chudamanihi. Bhavantam avitarkayan ativaya swayam Jambavan Mukunda sharanam himam gaiharodhum ityalapan Vibho Raghupate Hare Jaya Jayetyalam Mushtibish-chiram Tava Samarchanam Vyadita Bhakta Chudamanihi.
ராஜேஷ் எனக்கு போட்டு இது ராமாவதாரத்துல சீதையை கடத்திட்டு போறப்ப ஜாம்பவான் வந்து இது பண்ணி ராவணன் வெட்டிட்டான் இல்லையா? அப்புறமா ஜாம்பவான் வந்து ராவணன் தான் கடத்தின்னு போனான்னு சொல்லிட்டு ராமன் கிட்ட சொல்ற வரைக்கும் உயிரை கையில வச்சுண்டு ராமர் கிட்ட சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறமா செத்து போயிட்டார்.
That was Jatayu,
வந்து
right?
ராமரும் வந்து எல்லாம் அவருக்கு பண்ணிட்டார், எல்லா காரியமும் பண்ணிட்டார். அப்புறம் திருப்பி ஏன்னா எனக்கு ஆரம்பத்திலே டவுட் வந்தது, சரி ஒவ்வொரு இதுலயும் வரப்போ ஒவ்வொரு
இல்ல லலிதா, அது வந்து ஜட்டாயு. அது
ஜடாயு. ஓ, ஜாம்பவான். ஓகே ஓகே, சாரி.
ஜட்டாயு. இது ஜாம்பவான் வந்து அந்த இஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் தி சுக்ரீவா அந்த ஹனுமான் கேங்.
ஓகே ஓகே. ஓ, அந்த ஓகே
அந்த ஜாம்பவான். யா.
ஓகே, சாரி.
And the Jatayu was Dasharatha's friend, and then he ends up also eventually meeting Rama. And that's why he's saving his life, because he knows it is Dasharatha's son's wife who's getting kidnapped, right? So he's holding on to his life at that point. And then on the Jatayu's brother is the other one who then points out, right, as to where it is.
So Jambavan Hanuman gang-ஆ? ஸோ அதனால தான் கப்பின்னு சொல்றாளா ஒருவேளை?
ஆமா. But remember, like Jambavan has been there from Kurmavataram. He's there through all of that. But in the context of Ramayanam, he was with Hanuman and Sugriva and that gang. That's what I meant. So, they all go together, Kishkindalinde, when they go searching, Jambavan is part of that group.
Rajesh, Jatayu is correct? Jatayu vulture தானே?
Vulture, amma. Jatayu was a bird, some vulture or eagle or some bird like that, yeah.
So just one comment. I was reading some commentary on Ramayanam from Swami Tejamanandaji, and he mentioned that Jambavant was a incarnation of Lord Brahma.
I have not heard that, maybe, but yeah, because he's there through multiple of these avatars as well, anyway, so maybe, but I don't know.
Rajesh,
Just I wanted to call out that fourth stanza, the tune has changed, in case you guys didn't notice, so make a marking there. Yeah, sorry, Preeti, go ahead.
நான் எங்கேயோ தப்பா குறிச்சிருக்கேன் நினைக்கிறேன். எனக்கு இந்த விபோ ரகுபதே ஹரேக்கு அப்புறம் காமா உண்டா? சோ அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இது முடிஞ்சிருதா? அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் ஃபுல்லா?
I don't know how you have it. I have it as 4 lines. Do you have it as 2 lines or do you have it as 4 lines?
4 lines-ஆ தான் இருக்கு.
Okay, so Bhavantamabhitarkayan ativaya swayam jambavan, comma, Mukunda sharanam himam, comma, Kaiharodhumityalapan, end of the line. Vibho ragupate hare, comma, Jaye jaye tyalam mushtebeschiram tava samarchanam vyadita, comma.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. நான் ஒரு காமா மிஸ் பண்ணிருக்கேன்.
No, stanza 5. Stanza 5 also tune changes. Buddh 4-liner tune, but on a 2-line. Buddhva dattena dattam navaramani varamanim cha parigrinnanne anugrinnannamumakaha sapadi cha satrajite manim pradhaha. So this fight, so Krishna, like very similar to that Sugriva Vali fight here, Krishna goes in to fight. These people wait for like 1 or 2 weeks, the people of Dwaraka, or some amount of time, and then they see that Krishna is not coming out. So what they do is they don't want to go in because they're worried about what will happen. So they all end up going back thinking that Krishna is dead. And people all start mourning, saying, poor Krishna, he went to prove some point, he's now dead. So they all think of it that in Dwaraka. Meanwhile, here there's a battle that's going on, the fight that's going on between Jambavan and Krishna. And I tried to find a YouTube video. I couldn't find it. I'd seen it long time back. 28 days they battle out, right? And nobody is losing. Krishna also doesn't defeat Jambavan because he's Bhakta Chudamani. So when he's the greatest of devotees, Bhagavan will never lose to the devotee. So he's also patiently fighting with Jambavan. Jambavan is also not able to win with Krishna. So at one point, Jambavan realizes that the only person who can be stronger than me is Swayam Rama himself. And that Rama told me in Treta Yugam that you wait, I'm going to come and see you again in Dwapara Yugam. So he suddenly gets a realization, and in the video it shows beautifully, he suddenly looks at Krishna and he sees Rama. So here he essentially says, he comes to the realization that you are Ragupati himself, you are Rama himself. And with that, then Jambavan stops fighting and he says, "Are you Swayam Rama who has come again?" To which Krishna says, "Yes, I am the same person who incarnated as Rama, who has come again as Krishna in this thing." So at which point Jambavan says, "How can I fight you? You are my master. You are my, favorite person. How can I fight with you?" And Jambavan then surrenders. Then Krishna says, "I knew it. I only came because I have to get this jewel back. That was one reason." And main other purposes, Jambavan's daughter, Jambavati. Like we said, when Krishna in incarnation happens, all of the surrounding associates of Krishna also incarnate. And Jambavati is one such incarnation who comes along with Krishna. So Krishna had to marry her. She has to get back to Krishna. That's like how Rukmini is Mahalakshmi. Later on, we'll see Satyabhama. Satyabhama is Bhudevi. Later on, Nila Devi will come in the next chapter. But I don't know who Jambavati is, what incarnation she is. But anyway, so Jambavan then hands over Jambavati to Krishna and then also hands over the money, the Samantaka money to Krishna, who then goes back and gives it to Satrajit. Budvatar tena dattam, Navaramani varamanim cha parigrinnan anugrannam umagaha. It's one long word, you have to say it together, comma after that. Sapadicha satrajite manim pradaha. Budhva dattena dattam navaramanim varamanim cha parigrinnan anugrannannamumagaha sapadicha satrajite manim pradaha.
Budhva tatena dattam navaramaniം varamanim cha parigrihnan anugrihnnannamumagaha sapadicha satrajite manim pradaha. Budhva tatena dattam navaramaniం varamanim cha parigrihnan anugrihnnannamumagaha sapadicha satrajite manim pradaha.
Budhva tattena dattam navaramanim varamaniം cha parigrihnan anugrihnnannamumagaha sapadi cha satrajitamanim pradaha. Budhva tattena dattam navaramanim varamanim cha parigrihnan anugrihnnannamumagaha sapadi cha satrajite manim pradaha.
Pradana give,
Prada give, yeah.
Okay. Prada
We
brand
also-
கூட அதுல என்ன வந்திருக்கு போல இருக்கு.
That is to give to others. I think they mean you buy it and give it to others.
Rajesh,
And-
first word.
and
First
Buddhata, Buddhavata.
Budvata.
Oh.
We. Budvata. Sorry, I don't know if anybody said different. I didn't get that. Budvata.
ஓகே பிகாஸ் இதுல வந்து புத்தவாத்த அப்படி இருக்கு அந்த ஏ எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஏ இருக்கு இதுல
And the id is a half id. So it's not a full dha. Budvata. VAA. Va. Adla A irukku. Because that S symbol is there, right? Bud Sanskrit. Budvata.
புத்தவாத்த
Okay,
தேங்க் யூ
Budvata. Yeah. Stanza 6. Tadanu sakhalu brilalo vilola vilochanam duhitaramaho dhiman bhamam giraiva pararpitam adita manina tubhyam labhyam sametya bhavanapi pramudita manastasya vadanmanim gahanashayah. So when Krishna then comes and gives it Samantakaman, see, like I said, it keeps passing. It went to Jambavan. It never stayed with Jambavan, right? Krishna ended up coming, taking the money away from him. Now it comes to Krishna's hands. Krishna then goes and gives this to Satrajit, saying that, hey, look, the money that you thought I stole, I didn't. This is what happened. And then he goes and gives the money to Satrajit. Now Satrajit is feeling very conflicted because he unnecessarily blamed Krishna, thinking that Krishna stole this thing. So now he's feeling very guilty and he feels that everybody is going to retaliate against him. So he thinks, what is the best way to calm the situation down? He says, giving Krishna the Samantaka money back is not going to calm because Krishna doesn't want it. So he says, I have a daughter, Satyabhama, who is an incarnation of Bhudevi. Says, please marry my daughter Satyabhama, right? And Krishna says, sure, that was the purpose of me asking you for the jewel. In the first stanza, when Bhattacharya said, Chalato Vibodam, you very, cunningly asked for the jewel, although you didn't want the jewel because you wanted this set of sequence to happen. So anyway, with that, the Satyabhama, who was supposed to be given to another person called Shatadhanvana, and we're going to see him come a little bit later. So, instead of that, she's now given to Krishna, and Krishna gets married to Satyabhama, and Krishna now also gets Krishna says he doesn't want the jewel, so he doesn't take it back. Tadanusar Khalu Brila Lolo, Bilola Bilochanam, Duhitaramaho Dhiman, Bhamam Giraiva Pararpitam, Adita Manina Tubhyam, Labhyam Sametya Bhavanapi, Pramudita Manas Tasyai Vadhan Manim Gahanashayah. So last line, there's no comma till the end. First line also, only the last line is continuous. Every other line has a comma in between. Tadanu sakhalu brilhalolo bilola vilochanam duhitaramaho dhiman bhamam giraiva pararpitam adita manina tubhyam labhyam sametya bhavanapi pramudita manastasya vadan manim gahanashayah.
Tadanu sakhalu vridalolo vilola vilochanam Duditaraho dhiman bhamam giraiva pararpitam aditamanina tubhyam labhyam sametya bhavanapi pramuditamanastasyai tavadan manim gahanashayah.
At the last line, you added an extra tha. Pramudita manas tasyai vadan manim gahanashayah.
Pramudita manastasyai vadan manim.
Yeah.
Tadanu sakalu vridalolo vilola vilochanam duditaramaho dhiman bhamam giraiva pararpitam aditamanina tubhyam labhyam samitya bhavanapi pramuditamanastasyai vadan manim gahanashayah.
First line, vri la lolo. Do you have vri da?
Oh, in my book vrida. So it's a vri, not da?
Not da, it's a la. Vri la lolo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it says da. I don't know if the meaning is the same, but my book says la.
Tadanu sakhalu vrila lolo vilola vilochanam duhitaramaho dhima bhamam giraiva pararpitam aditamanina tubhyam labhyam sametya bhavanapi pramuditamanastasyai vadan manim gahanashayah. Tadanu sakhalu vrila lolo vilola vilochanam duhitaramaho dhima bhamam giraiva pararpitam aditamanina thubhyam labhyam sametya bhavanapi pramuditamanastasyai vadan manim gahanashayah.
Switch, Afe. Lakshmi Edavaliji, you can be student, and Krishnanji, you can be student. So seventh also tune changes. So just to recap, right? We stanza 2, the tune changed. Stanza 4, it changes. Stanza 5, it changes. And then 7, it changes again. And from 7 to end, there's the same tune. So Vrina kulham ramayate tvai satya bhamam kaunte yadaha katayata kurun prayate hi gandine yakrita varma gira nipatya satrajitam shatadhanurmanima jahara. So from now on, like I said in the previous Dashakam also, right, like the Mahabharata stories start getting intertwined. Now this Samantaka Mani story itself goes over several years. Okay, and so the Mahabharata story is something else going to come. Then, so you can't quite look at these Dashakams as sequential anymore because the Samantaka Mani story goes over several years. So Bhattacharya has just taken all of that, put it as one Dashakam. But later on, what's going to happen in 81, technically in the timeline, might happen in between the Semantaka money stories still, because there's a pretty long, the money is going to keep getting transferred to people and all of that stuff. So I'm just setting that stage up. So here it talks about at some point, right there, where Satrajit gives the money, Krishna says no, it remains with him, and Krishna and Satyabhama are married right now. So at that time, they hear about the Laksha Graham, the wax palace getting burnt, right? Where the Pandavas and everybody is there, Kunti is there. They escape that wax palace which gets burnt. So Krishna comes to hear about it. So Krishna and Balarama end up going to Hastinapur area to meet up to see what happened to the Pandavas. So they go at that point. Satyabhama stays back in Dwaraka. So at this point, there is this group. If you remember Akrura, who in Dasakam 73 came to pick up Krishna, who was the greatest of devotees, who had, that vision of Krishna and Balarama and all that. Somehow he turns a little rogue because of the Samantaka money. So this Akrura, the person called Kritavarma and Shatadhanva, 3 people. Shatadhanva was who was supposed to marry Satyabhama. So, so they 3 think, what, that Shatadhanva did not get Satyabhama. Krishna ended up getting it, because of which the money also they did not get, because if he had married, he would have gotten the money from his father-in-law, right? So they decide that we are going to go kill Satrajit, and then we're going to steal that jewel. So the Shatadhanva, who gets very upset about not getting Satyabhama or the jewel, when Krishna is not there, he goes and kills Satrajit, and then steals the Samantaka money away from him and puts it in his possession. Vrila kulam ramayati tvai satyabhamam, kaunteya daha katayata kurun prayate he Gandhineya. This Gandhineya word came before to refer to Akrura, son of Gandhini. So he Gandhineya.
So the devotee of Krishna, right? So he is helping to kill the Satrajit.
Who, sorry?
The Akrura, the Gandhi Putra is a devotee of Krishna, right? In the last...
He is, but like I said, this Akrura, along with the Kritavarma, who's coming in the second word, okay, and Shatadhanva, 3 different people. They are one group.
Oh, okay.
And that Shatadhanva was supposed to get Satyabhama in marriage. But because Krishna got married to Satyabhama, he feels upset about it, and also upset with the fact that he did not get Samantaka money. Because if he had married Satyabhama, Satrajit would have given the Samantaka money to him, right? So they 3 plot. And then when Krishna is not there, they go kill Satrajit. Akrura doesn't kill, Shatadhanva kills. But Akrura is an accomplice in that thing.
So Jambavati is another name of Satyabhama.
No, Jambavati is Jambavan Udupunnu. So right now 3 marriages have happened. In 79, Rukmini Kalyanam happened. Then in 80, the Satrajit's daughter is Satyabhama. Okay. And then Jambavan's daughter is Jambavati. So on the number, count 3 right now. Okay.
Good.
This will be very confusing, because all these characters are going to keep intertwining and getting rid of each other and all of that stuff. But you just have to see, it says follow the money. You just follow where the money is going. That's what is going to happen here. So Vrila kulam ramayati tvai satyabhamam, kaunteya daha kathayata kurun prayate he Gandhineya Kritavarma gira nipatya, put a plus, Satrajitam, and then a comma. So 3rd line, comma after Satrajitam, Shatadhanur Manimajahara. Vrila kulam ramayate tvai satyabhamam, kaunteya daha katayata kurun prayate he Gandhineya Kritavarma gira nipatya Satrajitam Shatadhanur Manimajahara.
व्रीलाकुलां रमयति त्वयि सत्यभामां कौन्तेयदाह कथयाथ कुरून् प्रयाते हि गान्धिनेयकृतवर्मगिरा निपात्य सत्राजितं शतधनुर्मणिमाजहार. व्रीलाकुलां रमयति त्वयि सत्यभामां कौन्तेयदाह कथयात कुरून् प्रयाते हि गान्धिनेयकृतवर्मगिरा निपात्य सत्राजितं शतधनुर्मणिमाजहार
व्रीलाकुलां रमयति त्वयि सत्यभामां कौन्तेयदाह कथयात कुरून् प्रयाते हि गान्धिनेयकृतवर्मगिरा निपात्य सत्राजितं शतधनुर्मणिमाजहार.
And Krishnanji, that fourth line, that Satrajitam comes along with the word Nipatya in the third line, and then a comma, okay? Nipatya Satrajitam, comma.
व्रीलाकुलं रमयति त्वयि सत्यभामां कौन्तेयदाह कथयाथ कुरून् प्रयाते हि गान्धिनेयकृतवर्मगिरा निपात्य सत्राजितं सदद्धनुर्मणिः जहार.
That's it. Shokat kurunupagatam avalokya kantam hatva drutam shatadhanum samaharshayastam ratne sashanka iva maiti hametya ramo gadam samashishikshatadhartarashtram. Things will get a little confusing here, but so Krishna and Balarama are out in Hastinapura when this incident actually happens. So Satyabhama's father Satrajit is now killed. So Satyabhama feels very upset that her father got killed by somebody here, Shatadhanva and all of that. So she actually goes and informs Krishna. So Krishna and Balarama come back to Dwaraka. Now they go after the Shatadhanva because they know Shatadhanva is the person who took that money and then who killed the Satrajit. Now the Shatadhanva gets very worried because Krishna and Balarama are both coming. So what he does is he goes to Akrura and he says, Akrura, I don't want this Yamantaka money anymore. This is just bringing me problems. Now my life is in danger. You take this money, Samantaka money. So Akrura says, even I don't want to touch it. But he says, no, nobody will know. You just keep it. And with that, he transfers over that problem to Akrura and Shatadhanva runs away. And Krishna and Balarama chase Shatadhanva. They go find him and then they find that he doesn't have any money, etc. There's a small confusion that happens between Krishna and Balarama, it is said, because of which Balarama then goes off to Mithila. So he says Balarama then leaves Dwaraka and then goes somewhere else. I think Mithila or someplace, I forget. Anyway, that's where Duryodhana ends up learning that Gada and everything from Balarama. That's a separate Mahabharata story. But anyway, so this place, they both come back and Shatadhanva is disappeared right now. And nobody knows where the money is. Krishna knows it is with Akrura, but nobody else knows where the money is. Shokat kurun upagatam, just breaking at that na and the ma. Kurun upagatam avalokya kantam, comma, hatva drutam shatadhanum samaharshayastam ratne sashanka iva maitila gehametya. Yeah, he does go to Mithila. Maitila gehametya, comma, Ramo gadam sama shikshata dharta rashtra.
Rajeshji, sorry. Shishikshita va kshata?
Shishikshata.
Kshata, okay.
So here Dhartra Rashtram refers to Duryodhana, one who's the son of Dhritarashtra. So here Balarama goes to Mithila and he settles there. So that's when Duryodhana goes there and then learns how to wield the mace and everything, because Balarama is Duryodhana's guru. So Duryodhana then learns it from Balarama.
Rajeshji, I have a question. So here there is no mention of how Krishna gets introduced or Pandavas, they get introduced to Krishna or any...
Last Dashakatla, they don't have a stanza of how they are getting introduced, but last Dashakatla also Krishna ends up going to Hastinapur. He sends Akrura to Hastinapur. He doesn't go to go check on them. But yeah, there's no specific introduction of how Krishna gets introduced there, yeah. Because of the Mahabharata story, this just revolves only around Krishna and his touch points with the Pandavas specifically.
Sure.
One question, Rajeshji. Is this the same Mithila like the in Janakanandini Mithila?
Yeah, same Mithila, yeah. Nepal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shoka
அது
Kurun.
எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட். யுகம் முடியறப்ப பிரளயம் ஆயிட்டு அப்புறம் தானே திருப்பி அடுத்தது வரும் இல்லையா?
இல்ல அது எல்லா இதுக்கு அப்புறம் பிரளயம் வராது. ரொம்ப there are three types of pralayam, right? One which happens at the end of the day of Brahma, which is a naimittika pralayam, which erases most of the bottom worlds and a little bit of the top worlds. And then there is the prakritika pralayam, which happens at the end of the life of Brahma, where entire Brahmandam is gone. And then there is between Manus, there is a pralayam, which is Manvantara pralayam, which happened between the Chakshusha Manu and the Swayambhuva Manu in the Dashakam 32 Matsya Avataram when that happened. So, but every yugam நடுவுல பிரளயம்லாம் இருக்காது.
வராது. ஓகே.
It doesn't happen between like Treta yugam, Dwapara yugam. Between Manus only it happens. No, pralayam is like a defined event, a planned event, right? There could be unplanned calamities which could happen, which is different.
Okay.
But no planned. Pralayam is a planned destruction event that happens. So. शोकात् कुरूनुपगताम् अवलोक्य कान्ताम् हत्वा द्रुतं शतधनुं समहर्षयस्ताम् रत्ने सशङ्क इव मैथिलगेहमेत्य रामो गदां समशिशिक्षत धार्तराष्ट्रम्.
शोकात् कुरूनुपगतामवलोक्य कान्ताम् हत्वा धृतं शतधनुं समहर्षयस्ताम् रत्ने सशङ्क इव मैथिलगेहमेत्य रामो गदां समशिशिक्षत धार्तराष्ट्रम्. शोकात् कुरूनुपगतामवलोक्य कान्ताम् हत्वा धृतुं शतधनुं समहर्षयस्ताम् रत्ने सशङ्क इव मैथिलगेहमेत्य रामो गतां समशिशिक्षत धार्तराष्ट्रम्.
शोकात् कुरूनुपगतामवलोक्य कान्ताम् हत्वा धृतं शतधनुं समहर्षयस्ताम् रत्ने सशङ्क इव मैथिलगेहमेत्य रामो गदां समशिशिक्ष्यत धार्तराष्ट्राम्.
धार्तराष्ट्रम्, last word, राष्ट्रम्.
धार्तराष्ट्रम्. शोकात् कुरूनुपगतामवलोक्य कान्ताम् हत्वा धृतं शतधनुं समहर्षयस्ताम् रत्ने सशङ्क इव मैथिलगेहमेत्य रामो गदां समशिशिक्षत धार्तराष्ट्रम्.
अक्रूरहेष भगवन् भवदिच्छयैव सत्राजितः कुचरितस्य युयोज हिंसाम् अक्रूरतो मणिमना कृतवान् पुनस्त्वं तस्यैव भूतिम् उपधातुमिति ब्रुवन्ति. Again comes back to Akrura. So he has that Samantaka Mani. So he knows that first Satrajit had it, bad things happened to him. Prasena took it, bad things happened to him. Went to Jambavan, Krishna fought with Jambavan, he ended up losing, he ended up giving the jewel. Krishna didn't want it, gave it to Satrajit, he ended up dying. Then he gave Shatadhanva, took it, bad things happened to Shatadhanva. Now Akrura is having this jewel, he doesn't know what to do with it. While it keeps giving him this gold on the side, he doesn't want to have it. So what it says is Akrura ends up performing yajnas every day. Because it says when somebody is performing a yajna, you cannot kill that person. So Akrura is worried about his life. So he ends up doing good in return. So he is actually continuing to do all these yajna and rituals on a daily basis because he knows as long as he's doing that, nobody will come and harm him when he's doing that. So with that, Akrura is now in a state of stress, but he ends up doing good stuff. So here Bhattacharya says, that's why Krishna, you end up, he's a good person. Next stanza, he'll say, how did he change? But anyway, he ends up doing good stuff as a result of this because he has money. So he's putting the money to good use by doing good things. Akrura esha bhagavan bhavadichayaiva, satrajitaha, put a ich, satrajitah kucharitasya yuyoja himsam akrurato manim anakritavan. If you want to break it, or you can say it together, manimanakritavan punastvam, tasyaiva bhutim, breaking atama, bhutim upadhatumiti bruvanti. Akruhayesha bhagavan bhavadichayaiva satrajitah kucharitasya yuyoja himsam akrurato manimanakritavan punastvam tasyaiva bhutim upadhatumiti bruvanti.
अक्रूर एष भगवन् भवदिच्छयैव सत्राजितः कुचरितस्य युयोज हिंसाम् अक्रूरतो मणिमना हृतवान् पुनस्त्वं तस्यैव भूतिमुपधातुमिति ब्रुवन्ति अक्रूर एष भगवन् भवदिच्छयैव सत्राजितः कुचरितस्य युयोज हिंसाम् अक्रूरतो मणिमना हृतवान् पुनस्त्वं तस्यैव भूतिमुपधातुमिति ब्रुवन्ति
अक्रूर एष भगवन् भवदिच्छयैव सत्राजितः कुचरितस्य युयोज हिंसाम् अक्रूरतो मणिम् अनाहृतवान् पुनस्त्वं तस्यैव भूतिम् उपधातुमिति ब्रुवन्ति अक्रूर एष भगवन् भवदिच्छयैव सत्राजितः कुचरितस्य युयोज सिंहाम् अक्रूरतो मणिम् अनाहृतवान् पुनस्त्वं तस्यैव भूतिम् उपधातुमिति ब्रुवन्ति.
Second line, last word, Krishnaji, is himsam. I don't know if you had something else. Yuyoja himsam.
Yuyoja himsam.
Once again. Bhaktastvayhi stiratara sahi gandhineyah tasyaiva kapatamati katamisha jata vijnanavan prashamavan ahamityudirnam garvam dhruvam shamayitum bhavata kritaiva. But questions and answers, it's saying, why did Akrura, who was such a great devotee of Krishna, who was doing all these good things, suddenly become like this? He suddenly started, getting along with the Shatadhanva and all of them, trying to kill Satrajit and trying to get that money. And then why did this happen to Akrura, right? Now, there's also a lot of free will, right? It's also a lot of things that what people want to do also. But he says at the end of the day, the whole purpose, Krishna, was for you to garvam. He was very proud of his accomplishments and all of that stuff. So to eradicate it, you ended up for him going through this journey, because like I said, this goes for a long time, for a long period of time. Akrura has this Semantakamani, and then he ends up doing this yajnas and giving a lot of charity to people. He ends up doing a lot of good things as a result of this, because he's afraid that if he stops doing that, somebody will come and kill him, right? So with this, and then he realizes his mistake also at the same time. So it is only for him to realize this, he had to go through this whole thing, which also in turn ended up helping others. So bhaktas tvayi stirataraha, put is stirataras sahi gandhineyaha, add a visarga at the end of that line, comma. Next line, if you have a is, that will go away. Tasyaiva kapata matihi, put a h to join, matih katamisha jata vijnanavan prashamavan, breaking at the in, prashamavan ahamityudhirnam, and then put a plus. So prashamavan ahamityudhirnam garvam dhruvam shamayitum, comma, bhavata kritaiva. So the third line is continuous. Fourth line, after garvam dhruvam shamayitum, comma, bhavata kritaiva. Bhaktastvayhi stirataras sahi gandhineyah tasyaiva kapatamati katamisha jata vijnanavan prashamavan ahamityudirnam garvam dhruvam shamayitum bhavata kritaiva.
भक्तस्त्वयि स्थिरतरः सहि गान्धिनेयः तस्यैव कापतमतिः कथमीश जाता विज्ञानवान् प्रशमवान् अहमित्युदीर्णं गर्वं ध्रुवं शमयितुं भवता कृतैव भक्तस्त्वयि स्थिरतरः सहि गान्धिनेयः तस्यैव कापतमतिः कथमीश जाता विज्ञानवान् प्रशमवान् अहिमित्युतीर्णं गर्वं ध्रुवं शमयितुं भवता कृतैव.
That means the third line, Prashamavan aham ityudhirnam. I think we said ahim. It's only ha there. Aham
Ahamityutirnam. Yes. Thank you.
भक्तस्त्वयि स्थिरतरः सहिगान्तिनेयः तस्यैव कापथमति कथमीश जाता विज्ञानवान् पशवमान् अहमित्युदीर्णं गर्वं ध्रुवं शमयितुं भवदा कृतैव भक्तस्त्वयि स्थिरतरः सहिगान्तिनेयः तस्यैव कापथमति कथमीश जाता विज्ञानवान् पशवमान् अहमित्युदीर्णं गर्वं ध्रुवं शमयितुं भवदा कृतैव.
Rajesh, there is a comma after Mityudirnam?
No, that is continuous. Mityudirnam garvam dhruvam shamayitum and then comma.
Okay.
Last stanza. Yatam bhayena kritavarmayutam punastamahu yatadvinihitam chamanim prakashya tatraiva subratadhare vinidhaya tushyanne bhama kuchanta shayana pavane shapayah. Lot of other stories go, but net what happens is Akrura has the jewel still, and at some point he says that he realizes he doesn't want to live this life, and he runs away. At the time, Krishna then brings him back saying, I know you have the jewel, don't worry, you can keep it, and then you live a proper life. So Akrura realizes his mistake, and then finally with Krishna's blessings he ends up having the jewel, and then he ends up helping Dwaraka in turn. That's kind of how the story ends, right? She says, Bhama, Kuchanta, Shayana, O Krishna, this way you then spend time with Satyabhama. Please eradicate all my ailments. So this one, like I said, the key takeaways in this Dasakam are the marriage between Krishna and Satyabhama, marriage between Krishna and Jambavati. Those two marriages are happening. And this how this Yamantakamani is just traversing from, moving hands from one person to another. And whosoever hand it goes, it is causing trouble to them. Finally, with Krishna's blessings, Akrura has that with him. And then everything goes fine for him. That's kind of how this Dasakam comes to an end.
Whoever used it for their selfish motives got into trouble.
Exactly. Finally, when he said, Krishna says, you can keep it, and then you help out Dwaraka in the process, because that was how Krishna first asked Satyajit, is you give it to Dwaraka as a, this thing, because it generates so much gold, some ridiculous amount of gold it generates every day, which you won't need that much. And it has to be taken care and all that stuff anyways,
In one of the talks, enna sonnana, when you are given a power or wealth or authority or something, God is giving you not because you have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
He is testing you how you are using it.
Yeah, correct. That's what ends up happening here, right? Anybody who's for selfish purpose, they don't have it. Yeah.
அந்த சியமந்தகமணி அனந்த பத்மநாப சுவாமி கோயில்ல லேண்ட் ஆயிருக்குமோ கடைசியா, ஏன்னா அங்கதான் அவ்வளவு கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காங்க இல்லையா?
தெரியல. See, it was last known location, and the iPhone lamari last known location was in Dwaraka. So and then finally when the tsunami came and Dwaraka got wiped out, I don't know if it got submerged with everything else or it moved over to Ananda Padmanabha Swami's temple. So we don't know that. Yatam bhayena kritavarmayutam punastam. Those two lines are going to come together. So I'm just putting an im at the end of that line. Punastam, put a plus. Ahuya tat vinihitam cha manim prakashya. So those two lines together. Tatraiva subratadhare vinidhaya tushyanne, comma. Bhama kuchanta shayanaha. Put a F, shayanah. Pavanesha payaha. Yatam bhayena kritavarmayutam punastamahu yatadvinihitam chamanim prakashya tatraiva subratadhare vinidhaya tushyanne bhama kuchanta shayanah pavane shapayah.
यातं भयेन कृतवर्मयुतं पुनस्तं आहूय तत् विनिहितं च मणिं प्रकाश्य तत्रैव सुव्रतधरे विनिधाय तुष्यन् भामाकुचान्तशयनः पवनेशपायाः यातं भयेन कृतवर्मयुतं पुनस्तं आहूय तद्विनिहितं च मणिं प्रकाश्य तत्रैव सुव्रतधरे विनिधाय तुष्यन् भामाकुचान्तशयनः पवनेशपायाः
यादं भयेन कृतवर्मयुतं पुनस्तं आहूय धुतिनिहितं च मणिं प्रकाश्य तत्रैव सुवक्त्रधरे विधिनाय तुष्यन् भामाकुजान्तशयनः पवनेशपायः.
Krishnaji, that second line, tad vinihitam, that word. Tad vinihitam.
Tad vinihitam.
And the third line is vinidhaya.
The last word payaha, right? Payaha or payaha?
Payaha.
यादं भयेन कृतवर्मयुतं पुनस्तं आहूय तद्विनिहितं च मणिं प्रकाश्य तत्रैव सुवक्त्रधरे विनिधाय तुष्यन् भामाकुजान्तशयनः पवनेशपायः.
Payaha. Last word.
पायाः.
ராஜேஷ் ஜி கடைசி லைன் வந்து இதுல பாமா குச்சாந்த ரசயஃப்னு இருக்குங்க.
Okay, I just changed. I mean, it means lying on Bhama's chest. That is the meaning of that word. So consistency, you can just do shayana, shayanaha. Shayana also means resting or lying down. So Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. We will probably do 1 or 2 stanzas of 81. I'm going to say the meaning only in the next class because it's little loaded things there. So 81 is Narakasura Vada Varnanam, but it also has 5 other marriages which are going to happen before Narakasura comes into the picture. Snigdham Mugdham Satatam Apitam Lalayan Satyabhamam Yato Bhuya Sahakalutaya Yajñaseni Vivaham Partha Priti Punarapi Managastito Hastipuryam Shakraprastam Puramapi Vibho Samvidhaya Gato Bhuhum. So, Snigdham Mugdham, Satatamapi Tam Lalayan Satyabhamam, Yato Bhuyaha, put is Bhuyas, Saha Kalu Taya, Yajñaseni Vivaham. Snigdham Mugdham Satatamapitam Lalayan Satyabhamam Yato Bhuyas Saha Kalutaya Yajñaseni Vivaham.
स्निग्धां मुग्धां सततमपितां लालयन् सत्यभामां यातो भूयः स खलु तया याज्ञसेनी विवाहम् स्निग्धां मुग्धां सततमपितां लालयन् सत्यभामां यातो भूयः स खलु तया याज्ञसेनी विवाहम्.
Second line, Saha Kalutaya.
Yato bhuyas saha kalutaya. Yeah, I said sa, I think. Yeah.
स्निग्धां मुग्धां सततमपितां लालयन् सत्यभामां यातो भूयः सख खलु तया यज्ञसेनी विवाहम्. स्निग्धां मुग्धां सततमपितां लालयन् सत्यभामां यातो भूयः सख खलु तया यज्ञसेनी विवाहम्.
Partha Prityai Punarapi, Managastito Hastipuryam, Shakra Prastam Puramapi Vibho, Samvidhaya Gato Bhuhu. That's one word. Partha Priti Punarapi Managastito Hastipuryam Shakra Prastam Puramapi Vibho Samvidhaya Gato Bhuhu.
Partha Prityai Punarapi Managastito Hastipuryam Shakraprastham Punarapi Vibho Samvidhaya Gato Bhuh.
Lakshmi, the third line, last word, Hastipuryam.
Hastipuryam. Parthaprityai punarapi Managastito Hastipuryam Shakraprastham punarapi vibho Samvidhaya gato bhuh.
Parthaprityai punaravi Managastido Hastipuryam Shakraprastham Puramapi Vibho Samvidhaya Gato Bhuhu.
Last line, after Vibho, there is a comma. Okay, fourth line.
Vibho, okay. Parthaprityai punarapi Managastido Hastipuryam Shakraprastham Puramavi Samvidhaya Gato Bhuhu.
We'll do one more and we'll stop today. Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Twadvachatam Ahritam Kuhanamaskari Shakrasunuhu Tatra Kruddham Balamanunayan Pratyagastena Sardham Shakraprastham Priyasakamude Satyabhama Sahayaha. Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam. That's one word. Kauravenartyamanam. So that line is continuous, comma at the very end. Twadvacha tam ahrita, comma. Kuhana maskari shakrasunuhu. Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Twadvacha tam ahrita Kuhana maskari shakrasunuhu.
Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Twadvachatam Ahrita Kuhanam Maskarim Shakrasunuhu.
Maskari is no im there. I heard an im. Is Kuhana maskari shakrasunuhu.
Kuhana Maskari Shakrasunuhu. Okay. Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Twadvachatam Ahrita Kuhanam Askari Shakrasunuhu.
So the second line, that Kuhana is one word. So tam ahrita, there is a comma. Then Kuhana is one word. Maskari is one word. You cannot break it as Kuhanam that way. Okay.
Okay.
So Kuhana maskari shakrasunuhu.
Okay. Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Twadvacha Tam Ahrita Kuhana Maskarim Shakrasunuhu.
Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Tattvachatam Ahrdakuhanam Askari Shakrasunuhu.
And the same thing there. After tam ahrita, there is a comma. And you cannot break it as Kuhanam askari. It's Kuhana maskari, that word.
Kuhana maskari.
Yeah. Maskari refers to somebody in the form of a sannyasi dressed up like that. So Kuhana maskari.
Bhadram Bhadram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Tattvajatam Ahda Kuhana maskari Shakrasunuhu.
Tatra Kruddham Balamanunayanne, comma. Pratyagastena Sardham, comma. Shakra Prastham Priya Saka Mude, comma. Satyabhama Sahayaha. Just do one time. We're out of time today. Tatra Kruddham Balamanunayanne Pratyagastena Sardham Shakra Prastham Priya Saka Mude Satyabhama Sahayaha.
Tatra Kruddham Balamanunayan Pratyagastena Sardham Shakraprastham Priyasakhamude Satyabhama Sahayaha.
Tatra Kruddham Balamanunayan Pratyagastena Sardham Shakraprastham Priyasakhamude Satyabhama Sahayaha.
Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. And here today. सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकममितं कालदेशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye.